All right, so you've gone through a root canal. The good news is the infection's gone, the pain is over, and your tooth has been saved. Phew. But the job isn't quite finished. What happens next is just as critical as the root canal itself. Today, we're going to break down exactly how we rebuild that tooth and make it last. So, this is the big question, right? A root canal cleans out the inside of the tooth, but in the process, it leaves it a bit hollowed out and definitely weaker than it was before. So the real trick now is how do we build it back up so you can go on with your life, chewing, smiling, whatever, and not have to worry about it for years and years. And this x-ray right here, it tells the whole story perfectly. See that bright white stuff? That's the special filling material inside the root. But look at the tooth all around it. We've had to remove all the decay and the nerve tissue, which means we've lost a ton of the tooth's internal support system. It's clean, yeah, but it's not strong. Not yet, anyway. So how do we figure out the game plan? Well, the number one most important factor is actually pretty simple. Where is this tooth in your mouth? I mean, it sounds obvious, but its location dictates its job, and its job dictates everything about how we need to fix it. And this brings us to a huge concept in dentistry called restorability. It's basically our way of asking, can we actually fix this tooth in a way that's going to last? And it really just boils down to two things. First, how much good, solid, healthy tooth do we have left to work with? And second, what kind of crazy forces does this particular tooth have to deal with day in and day out? Which leads us right into the main event, the showdown between your front teeth and your back teeth. You know, they're neighbors in the same mouth, but they have totally different day jobs, and that changes the entire approach. Okay, this is where it gets really clear. Think about it. Your front teeth, your anteriors, they're for slicing and tearing. They act like scissors, using these shearing forces. And of course, how they look is a huge deal. But your back teeth, your posteriors, they're the grinders. They're like a mortar and pestle, taking massive crushing forces. So for them, it's all about pure strength. This means our goal for the front is to be conservative, while for the back, it's all about full-on protection. So let's start up front and see what this all means in practice. When we're working on these teeth, the philosophy is less is more. It's an art form, really, blending function with aesthetics. And wow, the results can be absolutely incredible. On the left, you see a pretty common problem, a tooth that's gotten dark and discolored after a root canal. But look at the right. After being restored with just a porcelain veneer, it looks completely natural. You'd never know. It's a beautiful result that saves so much of the original tooth. So why does this minimalistic approach work so well for the front teeth? Well, for one, there's usually a good amount of strong tooth left even after the root canal. And remember, they're just slicing, not handling that heavy-duty grinding. This means we can often get away with more conservative options, like veneers or bonding, and our main goal is just to hang on to as much of that precious natural enamel as we can. Now, this right here, this quote is huge. This is straight from the research. It's basically saying that a front tooth, when it's properly fixed up with a veneer, can be almost as strong and fracture-resistant as a perfectly healthy tooth that's never been touched. I mean, that's an amazing vote of confidence for this less is more approach. Okay, time to head to the back of the mouth. The story completely flips here. Now we're talking about the heavy lifters, the molars and premolars, and they need a whole different level of protection. I mean, just think about it. Every single thing you chew, every single day, these teeth are taking a pounding. They are the absolute workhorses of your mouth, and after a root canal, they become super vulnerable to cracking if they're not properly protected. So here's the bottom line. We have to give that tooth a helmet. Seriously, that is the best way to think about what a full coverage crown does. It wraps 360 degrees around the tooth, binding it all together, spreading out the chewing forces, and protecting it from a catastrophic split, the kind of break that means the tooth is lost for good. Take a look at this number, 97%. Just let that sink in for a second. What in the world could that be? That is the survival rate for teeth that got both a root canal and a proper final restoration, like a crown, after about 2 years. A massive study looked at over 19,000 teeth, and this is what they found. It just goes to show how incredibly reliable this whole process is when it's done right. Okay, but what if there's almost no tooth left sticking out above the gums? I mean, what do you even anchor the new crown to? This is a great question, and it's where we sometimes need to bring in a little extra hardware. And here's the solution. It's called a post. You can see it in the diagram.
It's a tiny little rod that gets placed down inside one of the cleaned out root canals. It doesn't go all the way to the tip of the root, just deep enough to give us a solid anchor for the new filling material, which we call the core. The crown then gets cemented right on top of that core.
And listen, this is probably the single most important thing to understand about posts. It is a huge misconception that a post somehow reinforces the tooth or makes the root stronger. It does not. Its one and only job is to help the filling, the core, hang on when there isn't enough natural tooth left to do the job. The real strength is still coming from the crown and whatever is left of your own tooth.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. What are the big ideas? What are the keys to making sure that restoration you get after a root canal actually lasts a long, long time? It really just comes down to these two simple rules. First, save every last scrap of healthy tooth you possibly can. That's your foundation, it's gold. And second, you have to match the solution to the problem. You choose a restoration that is specifically designed to handle the forces that exact tooth is going to face, whether that's slicing up front or grinding in the back. And look, if you need any more proof about why protecting those back teeth is so critical, the numbers do not lie. This chart shows the 10-year survival rate. For back teeth that had a root canal and got a crown, 81% were still doing great a decade later. For the ones that didn't get a crown, that number plummets to just 63%. That is a massive, massive difference, and it just screams how important that helmet really is.
So at the end of the day, the big takeaway here is that there's no cookie-cutter answer. The right plan for your tooth is a totally custom job, a bespoke solution. It's got to be tailored to the tooth's location, its specific job, and exactly how much healthy tooth you have left to work with.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought, doesn't it? When we see success rates this high for saving and rebuilding natural teeth, it brings up the big debate. What's better? A dental implant or your very own tooth saved from the brink and perfectly restored to last for years and years? The fact that we can even ask that question is pretty amazing, and it's a real testament to how far dentistry has come.